Hello. We're at the gym in my happy place. This is my friend Ankur. She's my neighbor. And she also happens to be a clinical psychologist and
social
worker. Sorry. I have been having issues talking to my own kids about what's going on, and let's be honest, I don't even know how to answer the questions in my head. And so I thought it could be cool for you guys to write down some questions about how to talk to your kids about what is going on, because I certainly don't know the answers to that. And I know that I have a lot of moms that are friends with me on Facebook, so we were just going to see what we could do to help. So I'm going to let her take over.
Okay. Well, I don't have all the answers either. The first thing I would suggest is just be a good listener. Let your kids bring up the topic because everyone's talking about it. My 4-year-old came home from preschool talking about the virus, and so
mine is too.
Okay, so I had to talk about what that meant, and we went over the hand washing and all that kind of stuff. But so just be open to what they may have questions about. The second thing is you don't have all the answers, and that's okay to kind of say I don't know.
Right.
But what can we do to make you feel better? So that's a really good question to ask kids. Like, what do you need from me? What can we do as a family that would make you feel better during this time?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what are some things that I know that you are a big proponent of doing what you can control in situations like this? Because let's face it, a lot of us feel really out of control. I run a business primarily centers around people touching other people. And what we have decided to do is to try to be able to give that service virtually. So I know all of us are scrambling to try to figure out how Zoom works and what is WebEx. I know my best friend works for Cisco. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know about any of this stuff until
I didn't either.
Researching it yesterday. Thank goodness we have social outlets. I know they didn't have that in 1918 with the Spanish flu. My dad told me today that we had a relative who owned a store back in that time. Wow. And what he would do is put a big chalkboard out in the parking lot and have people write on the board what they needed and then leave. He would go out there, read the chalkboard, in the store, get it, bring it back out, leave. And he did it all on credit. He didn't charge anybody anything. Whether he got paid back, I'm not sure. But at any rate, so what are some things that we can be doing?
So going back to thinking about like what you can be in control of. This is a good activity with families to do 3 different lists. So do one list with whoever's in your family about what sucks about this, because life has changed a lot. So it's important to acknowledge that, and everyone in the family can go through how's your life changed, what is not good about this right now. And then the second list you can write about like what is good about this. Like, I get more time at home. I can play with my toys. I can spend time with friends. I can. I have a friend on Facebook whose son decided to learn a new skill every day.
Oh, wow.
So, like he's making bread or, so you can really turn it into a positive thing. Like and also address, well, if we stay home, less people may get sick. And that's really good because then we can be back out and doing our normal things again. So that's good. And then the third list would be talking about as a family, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish individually or as a group? Like I know in our neighborhood, I see so many people out walking and interacting with each other, and that sense of community is really great to see.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like everybody back at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Right. So I think as a community, we may have needed this more than we realize.
That's right.
And I know, for one, I stay positive most all the time, and I'm just thinking that the world would maybe be a better place when all of this is said and done. But in the meantime, dealing with teenagers every day, like I had talked to you earlier in the year about how we had so much anxiety and worry and stress, and they didn't even really have anything to stress about. And now that there is this thing to attach it to, I'm kind of wondering how this is going to work out for kids.
Well, I know in my practice with the colleagues that we all work together, we've all gone telehealth, so doing it all virtual, kind of like you're doing your cheerleading stuff virtually. Right. So, that is a resource that's out there, and I know most therapists are trying to continue their practices online. So even if, your teenager's kind of struggling more than you think, find them someone to talk to, and that
Yeah.
could probably still happen right now.
And even for parents, just if you don't know what's going on, I mean, I'm always somebody willing to lend an ear. We got a lot of time on our hands.
That's right.
So, and just bounce ideas off of each other. We had a staff meeting today, and I was throwing in some concerns that I had, and within minutes we had reached some kind of just place where we could all agree that we were getting somewhere, and it made me feel better, and I feel like having an outlet for everybody is the best thing we can do right now. So thank you for coming tonight.
welcome.
I don't know, he keeps calling the gym. We are not open. But thank you so much for taking the time. If anybody has a question for my dear friend, please write it in the comments. And then I'll have her take a look once we finish this, and we'll go through them and answer them for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.